Okay, this is take 2 of the Yamaha Tracer 900 GT. My first take, I noticed that the GoPro was pointing down the whole time, so yeah, not ideal, but here we go again. So in terms of the bike, it's 900cc, obviously it's 2021, year 2021. I think it's quite a good looking bike. I didn't used to like them, but they're certainly grown on me in terms of how they look. And yeah, today I'm just going to take it out for a spin and essentially just talk about it in terms of how it feels and what it's like in comparison to my bike, which is the Ducati 848. It's not my bike, it's a friend's, I should add. I definitely can't afford to have 2 bikes, but one day that would be nice. So yeah, let's take her out for a little spin. It's a grey England. It's a grey English day. Roads are wet. Well, not wet. Just not dry. I do like the roads though. I'm just by Finchinfield, Essex, if anyone knows that is. Okay, first things first, positioning. It's obviously, it's not a sport bike, so it feels very much different. It's comfortable. I feel like I could ride this bike for hours, days even. Versus, as you know, mine after an hour kills me. So that's the. But you know, this is what these bikes are made for. They are made to do, you know, long journeys in comfort. I don't know what technically they're classed as. Are they sport tourers? Are they touring bikes? I don't know. But let's call them sports tourers anyway. It's a very upright position. I definitely feel like I'm sitting on top of the bike, as Chase on 2 wheels would say, whereas I'm not kind of cocooned in. But the screen is weird. I was riding on kind of an A road earlier, and I was going about 90, and I still feel a lot of wind, which I would have thought you wouldn't, but maybe it's just the speed I was going at. I don't know. I would have thought, oh, sun's coming out. I would have thought that you wouldn't feel as much wind, but it was still battering about. Now it could be it's a windy day. It could be that I'm sitting higher than my 848, which is why I feel the wind more. But yeah, I'm surprised by that actually. But overall ergonomics of the bike, I think it's pretty great, to be honest. It's certainly more enjoyable to ride at low speeds. I think everyone would agree with me there. It's on the motorway, you know, if I was going 60, 70, I think it'd be fine, but because I was maybe going a bit quicker, that's why it felt a bit shaky. I think that's the word to describe it. Versus when I'm on my 848, I'm very much kind of part of the bike, if that makes sense. So that's the general ergonomics. The obviously seating positions, seats comfortable. One thing I do struggle a little bit with. Sorry. one thing I do struggle with is I've got boots on, motorcycle boots, and I struggle to get under to shift gear up sometimes, and I don't know if it's because of the position of the pegs or whatnot, but that's one of the things I've noticed is my legs got caught a couple of times, and I can't kind of shift under it. Could be just my big feet, but overall I'm 6 foot, and yeah, perhaps I wouldn't mind the screen coming up a little bit further up, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. In terms of engine, it's a very, very smooth engine. I mean, you know, on mine, I've talked about it before, if I'm going anything below 25 miles an hour on first gear, it is a horrible feeling. The bike just does not like it. The bike likes to be revved up fairly high, sort of mid and upper range, and yeah, that's where it's sort of comfortable. Whereas this one, I was going 40 miles an hour in fourth, and the bike picks up, you know, revs no problem. It just likes it. It can handle it. There's no issues whatsoever. So and I think it sounds really nice as well. If I'm not mistaken, the engine is kind of taken from an R1 and tweaked and blah blah blah. But yeah, it sounds like a nice engine, personally. Little boyo's out for a little spin in the mud. I've bought a new microphone wind noise reduction thingy, and it's kind of like, it's hard to stick it in my helmet. I've still not really worked out the best kind of setup, and I'm kind of eating it right now. I'm sort of eating I'm eating the microphone. Hopefully the audio is okay. We're about to go on the very short stretch of road, but I absolutely love it. I think it looks awesome. Oh, thank God this car is moving as well. So I'm going to just stay quiet for a minute so you guys can enjoy this little bit. Look, just this bit here. So picturesque. Yeah, the engine is lovely. I must admit, it is really nice. It doesn't pull as much as my 848, which is understandable. It's tuned differently, isn't it? So even though I'm on D1, which I think is the most throttle responsive, most power mode, I'm not like blown away from it, which is how I feel when I'm on my 848. This is much more sort of enjoyable, not a scary power output. Still more than enough for me, you know. I'm not Valentino, so it's more than enough power than I can handle, but it doesn't feel as scary when you open her up. I think, like I said, it does sound nice. I think I do like the sound of the engine. And I like talked about in previous videos, I don't know if I prefer a grunty noise or a high pitch. And this obviously kind of falls in the high pitch, but not as much. Got a lot of old classic cars today that I've seen, actually. I'm glad the sun's come up. It's really nice now. But do you know what? Going on a ride on a bike like this, I just think it's more enjoyable. I hate to say it. I just enjoy it more. I really do. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or if it's just more practical, you know. Like, you can do anything on a bike like this. Anything. Another thing actually which surprised me, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but when I enter a corner on this bike, I feel like I'm going quicker on it than my 848. And I don't know if it's because of the angle, because obviously you're more comfortable at this, so maybe you feel like you can attack a corner better at these sort of potentially lower speeds, in the general perspective, versus mine. I feel more, because of the body position that I am, and we're not on a track, we're on the roads, I actually feel like I would probably be faster on this than I would my other one through corners, which is very strange to admit. But yeah, I just feel more at ease going into the corner. And it could be the tech, you know, this has got all the shebangs. It's 2021, so it's pretty much, there's not much that it doesn't have. But look at that, 4th gear, 28 miles an hour, no problem. But yeah, it's really, I never would have thought that. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm going quicker on this than my 848. So obviously comfort, I've talked about. This one's got mine trumped. Engine wise, if you want to get scared, ride the 848. If you want still to get scared but not as much, ride this one. The biggest jump in terms of mode output from a power perspective is actually from 3 to 2, not from 2 to 1. So I'm on 1 now, but if I would go down to 3, you feel it most moving from 3 to 2. And then it's also got wet mode and like another mode I don't really know, to be honest. Like I said, it's not my bike, I'm not really, I just wanted to ride it and tell you guys what it feels like. And if anyone's trying to make the switch from a sport bike to one of these, or vice versa, maybe this can help you make that decision, whatever that may be. What else? Tank, I think it's obviously a lot bigger than my other one. Took me, I think it was 18 quid to fill up. Mine's about 16, but this obviously I assume gets you way more miles to the gallon versus mine. It's got heated grips too, I think, which I've not actually needed to use today, which is nice because it's warming up a bit. Yeah, I could, not gonna lie, I could be on this all day. I really could. It's from the quick rides I've had on this, and also the Super Adventure S KTM 1290, I think the latter seems like a better bike, so sorry friend, but this is still extremely capable, super fun. Super fun, super agile, super capable, and I could ride it all day. Could go see friends far away, I could do all sorts. It's just the price tag on these, they're still expensive. If I'm not mistaken, my friend bought it and then he was offered can't remember how much for. It was like 14 grand or something. But then he had it for about 6 months, and he was offered more for it than what he paid for it. Now I don't know if that was during the crazy COVID times that everyone was overpaying for everything, or if it's generally because they hold up their value so well. But even if you look at like a BMW, was it the 1350 GS, the GS models, even if you look at one that's like 10 years old plus, there's still decent amount of money to get them. And it's got to be the nature of them, right? In terms of it's got to be the nature of what they can do from a bike perspective. They just do everything. It's got quick shifter, which is lovely, and down is it blipper it's called. I've got a couple of times on his quick shifters and blippers, simply because if you're not accelerating kind of smoothly, sometimes it won't shift. But that's just me, it's my fault, nothing to do with the bike. It's fairly smooth, I think, though, and it's so nice, like using quick shifter and blipper. Hopefully you can hear the bike okay now. We're going down some quieter roads. Well, saying that, it just started going a little bit like doodle 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 on me, but still 100 times better. I mean, I'd say this is a bike for anything really. It's city, it's motorway trips, it's abroad trips, it's whatever you want to use it for. It'll do the job. It's funny getting used to a different bike. Like, I feel like I've just passed my test when I pull off and everything. It's very different. Just nowhere near as smooth with it. You know, it's not my bike, so. But it's really nice riding other bikes. For anyone who's kind of only had one, if you have friends or you can test ride any other ones, you know, go to the dealership. You can ask, oh, I want to try that one. Most of the times they should let you, really, because then if you really like it, you're going to buy it. But do try and just try other ones, because then it gives you a feel for what other bikes have to offer, right? Otherwise you're always stuck with the same kind of opinion of one. You only know, you never know what the grass is like on the other side. Pink car. Still feels unnatural for me, the quick shifter. Yeah, the screen's a weird one. I don't know if it's because I think that's as tall as it goes. But like I said, when I was on the A road, it just, I was getting battered about. No, I was squeezing the tank, and I still was just, yeah, it felt a little bit uneasy. Maybe it's just a different feeling to get used to. That's all. But overall, I mean, hopefully you can tell by what I sound like and what I'm saying. It's a very good bike, and I would, if I had the option, I would get one like this and a sport bike, so you get the best of both worlds, really. I really like revving it. If this cyclist wasn't here, I'd really like going underneath bridges and revving the bike. God damn it. It just sounds awesome. Bloody cyclist. That's 6,000 revs. It's a difficult feeling if you've got a grunty bike. It's a difficult sensation to get used to a screamy one, because you're like, should I be changing gear? But no, actually, because I'm still at only 4,000 revs. But it's just a different sound, which makes you think like you should change gears. But yeah, brakes. I think the front brake felt, I don't think as powerful as mine, which sounds weird because this bike is 10 years older, 12 years older, so you'd have thought the sound, the brake would be pothole still takes them okay. Remember, we don't overtake at crossroads. Rule number 1. You never know, some pillock could pull out there really quick. Yeah, auto blipper, quick shifter, all working fine. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was a big bump. Oh, my goodness gracious. Woo. Oh, there's nothing worse, is there, when you're on a bike? Well, a pothole is worse, yeah, but even bumps like little bumps like that give you a little shake up. Hopefully you can pick up from the GoPro, like the sort of engine noise, the po, just the overall sensation of what it feels like. I know it's hard, but It's so strange that I feel like I'm quicker on this than my other one. It is so weird. Little chopper. Whee! Obviously, you're not going to get as many looks, you know, when you're driving a red Ducati. You get a few more looks, but that's for superficial people. And I mean, for people that say these aren't track bikes, you can, if you're a skilled rider, not saying me, but I've seen other videos of people riding these, like, you know, genuine bikes that shouldn't be able to compete with sport bikes, and they ride them perfectly well on a track, perfectly quick, you know, getting knee down. And these bikes nowadays can do anything. My suggestion is, if you've only ridden a sport bike, go and test ride one of these. Doesn't have to be this one, it can be something similar. If you've only ridden one of these and you want to go to a sports bike, be my guest, but be prepared for a shock. Shock, yes, it's got to be more powerful than the sport bike, but you're going to feel like you've lost utility, essentially. That was 122. And I didn't feel, I didn't feel as secure as my other bike. I wouldn't want to go any quicker than that really on this, to be honest, unless I get used to it and stuff. But yeah, it's quick shifter is so handy, and it sounds awesome. You don't get that gap. Getting a bit more used to the bike now, which is nice as well. Gonna go? No. Would be funny if I did all this and then someone said to me, oh no, that's not actually the quickest mode. That would be pretty hilarious. Been riding for a while and it's still got quite a full tank of fuel actually, which is pretty impressive really. Hey guys, this is not going to be much longer. I just wanted to, still getting used to talking and riding. It's difficult. It is difficult. Props to the people that do it for a living 24/7. I suppose the more you do it, the more you're going to get used to it. It's just a skill really, isn't it? Yeah, like I said, my advice is, I think these bikes nowadays are awesome. Like, they're very expensive, I'm not gonna lie. I want to be able to buy one, not yet in my life and where I'm at. So if you can and you got the money, definitely try a few of these types. Try the KTM, try these. Suzuki have got one. Kawasaki have got different types as well, so yeah, try them out if you've not been one of these before. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. If you're a track day lover, obviously these aren't for you, are they? You know, if you just want to rag a sport bike on a track, then these aren't for you. I do wonder if these are like better for new riders to try and get better on their bikes in comparisons to a kind of a sport bike. Maybe it takes a bit longer to get better on a bike when you're riding one of those. I don't know. I'm gonna go and see if one of my friends is in. And yeah, it's been nice, guys. Try them out. I hope this was useful. I probably said the same thing over and over again, but if it was useful, give it a like, little thumbs up. If it wasn't useful, any comments on what you'd like to hear more, or what you'd like to hear different, or what I didn't cover. Feedback is feedback, right? Whether positive or negative. Yeah. See you later, all.